Hey, what's going on, Ramley? Welcome to the Rams Skinny here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports. This is your daily dose of Rams news. And Skinny, we get to talk kind of about a real football game. This is kind of our first actual preview show of the season as the Rams kick off the preseason this Saturday, 4 p.m. against the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, they had their joint practice with them a few days ago. Skinny T was there in person. We did a full recap of that. You can check that out on the Rams LAFB YouTube channel or LAFBnetwork.com if you have not already. But we'll see live actual game action at SoFi Stadium this Saturday. So a little bit of a preview. No one of big consequence will play per usual as the Rams do. So we'll kind of go through the depth chart, talk about who we actually think we'll see and who we're excited about seeing. First, though, we got to get to some injury updates. A lot of them came flying today, which is Thursday, from Sean McVay after practice. So we'll jump into that. But first and foremost, my man, Mr. Skinny T, how are we doing today? And a hot one in the South, and we're almost touching triple digits.
Yeah, man. I'm glad to be back in my home office, home studio. Better lighting, a little bit more chipper than I was on that last show. A little bit tired from a night in a hotel bed, but yeah, football. You know, we keep saying it's back. It's back. It's not back yet, but it's more fun. It's more fun to talk about this stuff than, rankings and rumors and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So real, actual situational football in a way. All right, we'll start with the big one. And some of these injuries we'll go quick because I know we've talked about them a lot, but got to give updates. Matthew Stafford, we already talked. I mean, I'm surprised now how many outlets are really covering the fact that he has the aggravated disc. Like I've seen all these like push notifications come from like ESPN, The Athletic today. We talked about that 2 days ago when that came out. So I'm kind of surprised they're just getting that out. But anyway, so McVay confirmed, I guess, publicly aggravated disc for Matthew Stafford, did get a epidural to deal with that. But the positive side, Skinny. So I don't want to say we're doom and gloom, but a little bit more pessimistic about the situation, a little bit more worrisome about the situation. But Sean McVay said they will do a test workout on Saturday. So, seemingly before the game. Now, he's not, no matter what, playing, but they'll do a test workout probably before the game Saturday. If it goes well, Matthew Stafford will be back at practice next week. Are you surprised by this all of a sudden speedy timeline all of a sudden out of nowhere?
Well, we come at it with this like pessimistic view because Sean McVay does not change his language regardless of how serious or not an injury is or is not. Like we are left to speculate, and our speculation kind of points towards doom and gloom, I guess, because 37-year-old quarterback. This is the bed they've made for themselves, and 37-year-old back problems are a real thing, especially for a guy who's been beat up and suffered back problems in the past. And getting word that it's a aggravated disc, that's something that can come back up after, let's say, one hit. So that's why I just in our defense, not trying to be pessimistic, we love being optimistic, but Sean McVay puts us in this position repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah.
So, if he came out early on and just said exactly what it was, it went from day to day to week to a herniated or bulging or aggravated problem. And then all of a sudden, if it was a game situation, he said this as well. If it was a game this week, he would be cleared and ready to go. No problem. So all these mixed messages flying at us. So it's good to have some concrete timeline of going, okay, well, let's see what happens on Saturday. And then, we can ask another question to McVay and maybe get another accurate answer. This is why you teach your kids, just tell the truth. That clears everything up.
Yeah.
Not saying that he was lying exactly.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is he didn't change his tune in terms of like, no concern. We're just taking it real cautiously. All indications are we're good for week one. Like he was real steady Eddie and all that. I think it was just the going from day to day to week and going from back soreness to like seeing a spinal specialist. That's where the kind of, if he would have came out day one and said, hey, Stafford's got a bulging disc. We're not worried about it. We've consulted it. it's all good. We're just, because of the situation, because of him being a vet, we're in no rush to get him back. We feel good about where he is. So we're just going to take our time because there's really no risk, and he's going to be ready to go. Like, if that would have been the initial messaging, I think still we would have been a little bit like, because of the history of McVay and the Rams, like, but it would have been a lot more clear than this, the change of day to day to week to back soreness to bulging disc. Like, that changes things a little bit.
And if you go look at his language about, let's say, Nate Landman, it's very similar. We're keeping him out. We're not worried about it. Abundance of caution. It's just a calf. He's working through a little something. It's not helpful. It's not helpful language.
Yeah. And, to be fair, most football coaches are like that. Like, they don't give you anything they have to. I mean, college coaches are even worse. They're just like, because college, you really don't have to divulge injuries. So they'll just be like, yeah, this guy was limited today. Like, that's all they'll give you. Whereas we joked kind of last episode, like in baseball, like Dave Roberts is like, oh yeah, Freddie Freeman literally fell in his shower today. He's going on 10-day IL. He like sprained his ankle, like straight, like every like actual symptom and how he got it and how it happened, which apparently you were on your run when that happened.
Yeah.
So it's just funny, the differences. And, if Stafford was a tough man, he would throw the ball naturally. He wouldn't need an epidural, right?
Of course, yeah. Just go pain medication free, definitely.
That was just a dumb dad joke there. So we know Stafford's tough as nails. So anyway, great news. I mean, I think this was a good thing. Could potentially be back, and that just solidifies McVay's non-concern, and now we can hopefully see it in real time and him be at practice next week, getting acclimated. Go ahead.
And Andrew Whitworth was talking to Rich Eisen. Whitworth was out there at Cowboys joint practice. Was hanging out with Micah Parsons a lot, but he did end up talking with Matthew Stafford a bit about it, and he was saying that Stafford's pretty frustrated at having to be sidelined. So maybe they had a meeting and said, if I'm healthy and ready to go, get me out there. Put me in, coach. Basically,
yeah. I need these reps. Need these reps. Doing me no good just sitting here. So anyway, good news there. Other injury updates, and correct me whenever I'm forgetting one, because there was a lot today. And again, I don't think there's a lot of concern, but Jared Verse left practice with trainers after banging his knee, I think, with Braden Fiske was the language used.
He was helped off. He was helped off the field by trainers. So that's the language. Yeah.
Helped off the field. Are you concerned about that at all? Or I guess you can share, he went to social media and cleared the air, I guess, right?
I guess he cleared the air. He said, I'm good, basically. Didn't really go into any detail of what happened. So I'll, I'm going to put this one in the wait until further notice. But, with the other injury news that was coming out today, Rashawn Slater out for the year for the Chargers, it just goes to show you that things can change pretty rapidly in this league.
Yeah.
The news didn't come out that he's out for the year, so that's good news, but something to keep an eye on, something that we'll definitely be intrigued by. I mean, it's a pretty nightmare scenario if he goes out.
Yeah, I would say so.
So definitely one to keep an eye on.
I feel like every episode we got to have one of those get off my lawn soapbox speeches. So I'll get mine out of the way now. What's so, I don't know, frustrating is the right word, but when you think about practice and training camp in general, like the league is doing so much to, I don't want to say soften the game, but for sure attempt to have less injury and less wear and tear in practice, obviously limiting how much you can practice, how much you can hit in practice, and then coaches doing above and beyond, basically like Sean McVay being one of those coaches that like, we're not going to hit really at all. However, so you have all those things to try to lengthen careers on, which overall I think is good. Player health, player safety is all a good thing. These guys have been playing football a long time. I don't think you have to go Oklahoma drill 24/7 in full pads or whatever. What I don't get though is when you go in thud situations, which the Rams have been in quite a bit, which is, not full tackle, but you're still the guys on the line are still hitting each other. Why are you in shorts? Like, I just don't like it. If as simple as Jared Verse banging knees, I mean, if you're wearing your normal pads and you have your knee pads on, how they're supposed to be. Now these guys wear less and less pads every year for whatever reason. Like things like that, like bone bruises, like they're just not going to occur. So I'm not saying it's going to solve everything, but like what's the point of being in shorts if you're going in thud. Like, just wear the full garment. You're out there for an hour and a half. Like, it's really that big of an inconvenience to wear like the leg pads? Am I crazy?
No, not at all. I mean, I would pad up definitely if I was flying around the field with other 300-pound men.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, when we were in, we called it shells. If we were just in helmet and shoulder pads, shells, that was basically a walkthrough day, or like just individual. Like we were doing nothing, like no contact of any kind. If there was any contact, and again, not even full tackling, but you're coming into contact with another teammate, full pads. So I don't get this like wearing sweatpants and shorts, but going thud. Like, just wear the frick leg pads and
protect yourself.
Stop with these bone bruises and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Tons of guys with the cutoff pants now, not even going down to the knee, just mid-thigh cutoffs.
Yeah. And then you get these like soft injuries. So that's what the pads are for, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah. Or just buck up and play, I guess. I don't know.
So I went to, while you were on your rant, I went to look to find that actual tweet. I think it might have been deleted.
Really? From Verse?
Yeah, I went to his page specifically and did not see it on a cursory glance.
Was it do you remember, was it Twitter or was it Instagram?
Oh, that's a great question.
Let me check the
old. It was retweeted. I'm barely on Instagram. If anybody wants to follow me, Ryan Anderson, LAFB, I believe.
Yeah, I haven't been on my personal one, but LAFB Network, you should for sure follow. We're actually growing pretty big on Instagram on LAFB Network, so make sure to follow LAFB Network. But all these athletes seem, most of them are much more active on Instagram. So let's see.
They're kids, you know.
Yeah, he has no story or no post on Instagram. So if it was somewhere, it looks like it was deleted potentially.
Interesting.
Whatever that means. That means. So are you concerned at all? Or you think, I mean, he wasn't going to play Saturday anyway. You know, he'll probably sit now 4 or 5 practices and relax.
There's a kernel of concern. You know, knee injuries are real. I mean, a banging one against another guy is probably not a tear of any kind. Yeah, that usually comes when it's bent in the wrong way or taken down in a strange way. So in that way, I'm not terribly concerned. But it's definitely like, you know, this is a team that's very, very healthy, and you know, anytime something like this happens, it's going in the corner of my mind. I'm not going to freak out though. I'm not on full freak out. Yeah.
Cool. I'm the same way. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. That's the latest on Verse. And then the last one I can remember, I feel like there was more, but you can throw those in there after that on just your spiel, Ryan. But Kevin Dotson, starting right guard, suffered a chest contusion during Tuesday's joint practice, kept him out of practice today. But McVay said the expectation is he'll be able to return to practice soon. Our guy, Justin Dedich, filled in as he did at joint practice at that starting right guard spot. Yeah. Were there any? I think there is something on Puka Nacua also.
Puka Nacua and Kobe Turner both held out of practice. Kobe Turner's probably the most concerning one. Week to week is what his official designation is. And then Puka Nacua, what was his injury? Got an article going up on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember too. While you're looking, so I mean, we're looking at just on defense while you're looking for that. As of now, banged up, Puka Nacua, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse, Emmanuel Forbes, and Cam Curl.
Landman maybe in there.
And Lamb. So you're looking at 6 starters.
Yeah.
It's early.
Yeah, we got a month before week 1. That's going to be the focus on it. I'm not terribly worried about any of them, especially the Puka Nacua. It was a groin soreness is what McVay called it. So, but again, the language, he uses the same language. And the designation week to week is really the only thing that you can kind of hang your hat on and go, okay, like that one, they're really, really being cautious with. Yeah. And, you know, like you like to say, these guys get breathed on the wrong way. McVay is going to hold them out. Yeah. And, you know, abundance of caution is a good way to approach these things. Typically a very healthy team, historically so in some cases. But you got it, like I was saying about the Rashawn Slater situation, like these things can take a wild turn really quickly. So that's why we keep you guys up to date and tell you everything that we can possibly tell you about them, everything that we know about them. Just in, nothing's as serious as being ruled out for the whole year. So
yeah, you're not Chargers.
At
least Rams fans aren't Chargers fans right now, so I feel very blessed with that.
I'm sure a lot of them are happy about that.
Yeah, in general, regardless of injury. But yeah, so nothing overly concerning. It will be interesting because, kind of as you said, historically this Rams team has been very healthy during the McVay era, but in reality, since 2022, when 2022 was their disastrous injury-filled season, like they've actually had a lot of injuries every year since then. 23 and obviously last year, we've seen a lot of top guys go down. We know about Puka Nacua, we know about Cooper Kupp, we know about Kyren Williams missing time, we know about Stafford's kind of ailments here and there, we know about the offensive line turnstile that was last year and in 2023, we know about some of the defensive secondary issues. So in reality, this team hasn't been very healthy the last 3 seasons. Not saying I'm blaming the philosophy of how this organization runs things in practice. Sometimes it is just bad luck, but there are times when the way you practice is the way you play, and that can sometimes translate to injuries, because if you're changing that much drastic from practice to game speed and physicality, McVay said, here's the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to the depth chart. And again, I don't want to sound negative here, but it's going to come across that way, but I apologize, but it's just, kind of the reality. McVay said one of the practices, I can't remember if you were with me, but one of the training camps I was at, and I was in the scrum after, and I think it was McVay, and he said, we're excited about I'm paraphrasing, but basically like this year we want to really up our physicality and be a physical football team. And I think we're in a good spot to prove that we are a physical football team. And I love that. I think we've talked about that over the last few years, right? How this Rams team went from kind of the glitz and glam to feeling more like a lunch pail, gritty team. And they've shown that with their style of play. However, their injury history has not shown that. And it's hard to prove you're a physical football team if you're not practicing physical. And then when the physicality of the game is thrust upon you, your injuries pile up. So that's my only concern with all these nicks and things. I don't think any of them are, as of now, any reason for worry. It's more of what they indicate of what could come once the rigors of the season are here and whatnot. So, we'll obviously monitor that, and, in McVay we trust, but it is an interesting thing that he wants to be a physical football team, but don't really practice physicality.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you got, the best ability is availability, and that's 100% true. You're not doing anybody any favors if you're on the sideline.
Like I'll say this. Sorry, Skinny, I'm not trying to cut you off.
No.
Everyone here, I say it all the time. I mean, as a network, we cover USC, but I more personally cover USC as well. So I'm at practice and whatnot. There was an open practice that Lincoln Riley let all of us media watches for observation. So I can't report on it. Even here on a Rams channel, I can't report on it. But the one thing I will say, the intensity and physicality of that padded college practice versus the mini Rams ones I've been to. Now, again, this is Rams beginning training camp, not their actual practices. So I don't want to speak on that. I'm sure it's different in season. And this is obviously with fans here. It's not going to show everything. It's a very kind of, soft, dry run through. So it is different. I understand that. But it was a stark difference, the physicality and intensity of this college practice versus a Rams practice. And so take that for what you want. But
and the Cowboys version of thud tackling, which was what they were doing at the joint practice, versus what the Rams version of thud practicing, there is a level up in physicality, even that. A lot more guys going to the ground in thud tackling with the Cowboys.
Yeah. So hopefully, everything is fine. But just an observation. So, all right. So real football being played here in 48 hours or what? So, obviously we're not going to see any of the real starters. We're probably not going to see a lot of the backups. I mean, I don't think DJ Humphries is going to play. Obviously he is the slated starter right now over Alaric Jackson while he still battles blood clots. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think we'll see him. I don't think it's been officially announced, but don't think we'll see him. So, a fun 4 quarters, most likely of Stetson Bennett, or maybe a couple drives of Dresser win there at the end. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the receiving core? Let me pull up our depth chart,
I actually want to start with quarterback.
Okay, let's do it.
Now we've seen the Stetson Bennett show. I think last year he He played all snaps of that. I don't remember seeing Dresser win at all. Can we get the Dresser win experience? We've seen Stetson Bennett. We kind of know. I mean, I think he's taken a bit of a step forward this year. But can we get can we get Dresser win out there for a couple? Come on.
You want to split it by halves? Steady in the first and Dresser in the second?
I think so.
Okay.
So.
Maybe we'll see that. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a little what Dresser win. Let him spin it, see what he can do.
Yeah. That little soapbox. That's all.
I like it. So, well, all right. For all you watching over on our Rams LAFB YouTube, this is our Rams depth chart. We update it weekly. Bookmark it. Check it out. It's there for all of you guys. Okay, so yeah, maybe a split steady B Dresser win. We'll see. Running backs. This is where we get interesting. Obviously, we will not see Kyren. Do you think we see Corum, or is this going to be the Jarquez Hunter show?
I don't think we see any Corum. Maybe a couple of drives. That's where I would land with that. But I think it's going to be Jarquez Hunter, Ronnie Rivers, heavy day.
Yeah, if we don't see Corum, obviously that is a very real indication that he has solidified RB2, at least as of now, which I know you and I have kind of gone back and forth on. I think we've spoken very highly on Jarquez Hunter, but because he is a rookie, obviously I think he will get some run just to get more reps. But yeah, I'm curious. I believe we could see Corum for a quarter. I could be completely wrong on that. If anyone, I don't know if Rivers, I feel like, has kind of proven himself. Like, he doesn't really need to do a preseason with the team long enough. He's just your kind of staple RB3, RB4. But you got to have more than one running back out there. So we'll see. But yeah, I agree with you. Corum at most a quarter, maybe not at all.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see Hunter a lot.
I am too. Yeah, I mean, we've raved about him. Now we get some real action in there, and I think he's got a chance to really show what we've seen, just that physicality. And some of that explosiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, receivers, we know no Davante Adams. We know no Puka Nacua. Probably not Tutu Atwell.
No.
Do we even see Jordan Whittingham?
I don't think so. I think we're going to see a lot of Mumfield, a lot of Xavier Smith, and kind of a rotation of Mario Williams, Drake Stoops, and Britton Covey.
Yeah, I agree. I could see that too. Whittington, if he does play and he gets receivers reps, it'll, I think, be more so because they want him to get some special teams reps, because we know he'll probably play in that role in some capacity, whether it's in the return game or like a gunner role. So that maybe he'll get a couple of receiver reps from that as well. But I agree. I think Mumfield has looked great in training camp, so it'll be fun to see him out there as the rookie, see how he can continue to kind of grow in that role. We know Xavier Smith well, but I think he'll get reps. And then, yeah, I'm excited to see Mario Williams out there. We saw him catch a tutty in training camp one of the days we were there together, and see if he can do that on the big stage of SoFi.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really interesting group of receivers, especially with Katana Mumfield out there. I'm a big Xavier Smith guy. Still like how he plays. So excited to see he's still on the roster, and actually, getting to see him play is exciting for me.
So, looking at tight end, we didn't mention, but Terrence Ferguson has been a little banged up. I don't believe he's been back to practice. So I don't think, unless you're hearing differently, I don't think we'll see him at all Saturday.
Which leaves it not a lot of depth.
It's basically Davis Allen.
Davis Allen is probably the only guy. Anthony Torres maybe will get out there.
Yeah. We certainly won't see Tyler Higbee, and I don't think we'll see Parkinson either.
Yeah, I mean, Terrence Ferguson might end up playing, depending how he's feeling. Just a couple, though. I doubt. I mean, they're going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel. Maybe they'll go sign a guy off the street to stick in there for some reps.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have some guys out there, regardless of your philosophy. But yeah, I think we'll see a lot of Davis Allen, which will be good. I mean, Davis Allen, I think, is that kind of fringe, tight end 3, tight end 4. Obviously, right now he's ahead of Terrence Ferguson, but get him more reps out there and more acclimated would be good. And, we'll see with Anthony Torres what he can do as well. All right, offensive line, obviously no Jackson. Larry Jackson is out just regardless of any physical activity. No, I mean, none of the starters. No Avila, no Shelton, no Dotson, no Havenstein, no DJ Humphries. I'm guessing that's not official, but I don't think so. Likely it'll be Bo Limmer, Justin Dietich, Dylan McMahon, Warren McClendon, and you think it'll be David Quessenberry? Do you think he's enough of a vet that they'll try, AJ Akuri or Trey Wettig or something at the left tackle spot?
They may be putting Warren McClendon in bubble wrap for this game. They might be.
You might be right, actually.
Just out of worrying about, Havenstein's health, what's going to happen with DJ Humphries? Do they just protect all of those guys? This could be a pretty motley crew. Bo Limmer obviously played a good amount of football. Justin Dedich got in there last year as well. So those may be your two anchors there with, the rest of these guys playing around. I think Quessenberry could be, might be the old vet they roll out there to play left tackle.
Yeah, see, that'll be interesting because obviously he's proven himself. I mean, whatever, a 2 or a double-digit year vet. So I'm curious if they'll have him or they'll literally roll like AJ Akuri and Trey Wettig like all game.
I think that's on the table.
Yeah, I think it's definitely on the table. I didn't even really think about that, but yeah, Warren McClendon, just because of the way things are shaping with injuries, they might just be like, yeah, well, let's just keep you safe.
He played a bunch with the Cowboys, so maybe that's where they were looking, for whatever they needed to know about McClendon there.
Okay, so call it here. Who was your starting 5? I'll let you call it.
AJ Akuri, McMahon, Limmer, Dedich, Quessenberry.
Okay, so you do think Quessenberry? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. All right, defense. Obviously, Ford, Turner, and Verse and Spates, not Spates, and Landman and Curl are hurt, but wouldn't be playing anyway because they're starters. I think here's where you'll see this row of like second stringers. We'll actually see all of them. I think. I don't think it's like offense where, hey, even like 2 deep are sitting, in my opinion. But defensively, like I think we'll see Laurel Murchison. I think we'll see Ty Hamilton. I think we'll see Tyler Davis, Brennan Jackson. I think we'll see Troy Reeder. Even though he's a vet, they just, probably need, they have enough bodies maybe at linebacker where they don't need to play Reeder. But I guess, I'm getting ahead of myself. How are you feeling about the defensive line?
Yeah, the interior, excited to see Ty Hamilton and Tyler Davis. Tyler Davis may have played himself out of the preseason contention. There's a lot of praise for him. So that would be the one I would keep an eye on. Desjuan Johnson as well. I think we're going to see him because, they need some of these guys out there. So, that's, if I'm, you're thinking you're 2-3 guys in the middle, Laurel Murchison, Desjuan Johnson, and Ty Hamilton there. And then for the outside linebackers, that's a huge question. If Verse misses time, if Byron Young misses time, these guys are pretty untested from professional standpoint. But, they've kind of, started to accumulate some depth with Josiah Anderson, 3rd rounder. He's getting praise from Daniel Jeremiah just the other day, saying this is the guy you should keep an eye out for. Undersized, super speedy. He is just a quintessential Rams edge rusher at this point. So yeah, definitely some excitement and a lot to learn in terms of who's going to be the depth and if they have anybody behind the top 2.
And I think that's a great position to watch in this one, which we'll be watching closely. And the 2 players that I'm really excited about are Josiah Stewart, who you alluded to, and then Brennan Jackson, who was drafted last year. So kind of seeing how those 2 guys, if they can be, that edge 3 and 4 behind Young and Verse and can give them some credible reps. Because obviously you lose a guy like Michael Hoyt and others, you got to have someone else. Byron Young and Jared Verse aren't going to be on the field 100% of the snaps. They'll be obviously the bulk, but you got to have a little bit of rotation. And so if Josiah Stewart can really go into that quickly as a rookie, or Brennan Jackson now in year 2, or obviously, Nick Hampton or Kyer Thomas can have some versatility as well. I think that'd be fun to see. I'm excited to see Jameel Muhammad, former Trojan. I think he'll be a fun one too at that edge position. He's obviously fighting for a roster spot. But did some good things at USC, and it'll be fun to watch him still out here in LA. So looking at interior linebackers, Skinny, I guess I got ahead of myself. Like, do you think we'll see Troy Reeder play, or do you think there's enough depth with Chris Paul, with Tony Fields, with Elias, with Sean Dolick? There's a lot of hype about him, the undrafted free agent. Do you think there's enough depth with those 4 where they don't need to play Reeder either?
I think Reader's going to have to play some snaps, but I think it's going to be a lot of Chris Paul Jr., a lot of Sean Dolak. I think those are going to be guys they're going to want a good look at, because those are quality guys for special teams as well.
Yeah.
So, I think that'll be important to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see Sean Dolak. Again, a lot of hype coming out of college and getting him as an undrafted free agent. He's looked good in camp. So it'll be fun to see him in real action against another opponent. So yeah, that's one to watch. 56, Sean Dolak, and obviously Chris Paul, highly touted too at Ole Miss. So secondary, we're looking at kind of these range of guys, right? Little Cam Lampkin, little Malik Dixon Williams, little Nate Val Carousel. Who are you looking for in the secondary to actually play?
I kind of wonder if Charles Woods is going to end up playing. I think Jalen McCullough's played himself into a rotational role for the secondary. Tanner Ingle as well. Mm-hmm. I don't think Kobe Durant's going to see much playing time. Oddly, they have Akella Witherspoon or Kobe Durant listed on the Rams, what they're calling the unofficial depth chart.
Yep.
So that was an interesting note. So yeah, I think Tanner Ingle, Charles Woods, a lot of playing time there. A lot of Cam Lampkin, who I liked at training camp. Real mouthy kind of guy. Those obviously they stand out for obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. But you need that in the secondary for sure.
Yeah.
Curious about AJ Green too. He's kind of one of those bubble guys that, made some plays during training camp, played solidly, I thought. But yeah. Not much depth. Sean Jolly is kind of hanging around, sticking around in a way that's intriguing as well. So I'd keep an eye out for number 24.
He's the one I was going to bring up because I think he's made some nice plays in camp and obviously got some reps last year too. So I think you said it perfectly there. Kind of a guy that just keeps hanging around. Like he's a guy that, seems like he's down the depth chart, risk of losing a roster spot, but just kind of keeps hanging around, makes plays here and there. So he, I think, should get an opportunity for sure to get some run and really hopefully shine. And then the last one, we're basically just naming every player, but Darren Kendrick, I think is going to be interesting because obviously injury last year, missed the whole year, ends up getting released by the team, ends up re-signing with the team just a couple of days later, but is listed, fairly far back in the cornerback room on their unofficial depth chart. So, you'd think he'll play, barring whatever, injury or however far along he is on everything. So regardless of this game, go ahead.
He was a starter not that long ago.
I know. Yeah, exactly. He was a starter not that long ago. So regardless if he plays much in this game, I do expect him to do something in this preseason just to solidify him being back.
Yeah. He's competing for another contract. Kobe Durant also looking for another contract. So they're either playing for the Rams or they're playing for somebody else in this preseason game. But Kobe Durant probably won't play, but he is on the last year of his contract.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, hey, with these litany of players, it doesn't matter. It's preseason, but are the Rams winning? Rams coming out on top?
No, I don't think they're going to win this game.
Okay.
I have no real good analysis on that. But they just don't, they're not going to try. They're not going to push to win. They might push if it's within a field goal or something like that, but it's vanilla offense, vanilla defense. They're really tight. All teams are tight-lipped in the preseason about what they show their opponents and put on television and put on tape. So it's all going to be vanilla, but the Rams in particular, super strict on what they're going to show. So no fireworks.
Yeah.
Just come out healthy.
We went over the whole roster. We'll end with this. Just give me the one player you're actually really excited to see kind of what they do out of all the guys we listed.
Yeah, Jarquez Hunter for sure. And then on the defensive side, Chris Paul. Not with the first team really at all, I don't remember seeing. And then, it's really hard to see with just the thud tackling exactly what a linebacker can do. Sideline to sideline in the gaps and whatnot in coverage, it's a little easier. But yeah, just kind of curious if they can kind of pull out this linebacking crew, if they can make something out of, chicken salad out of chicken poo, as they say.
Yeah. Love that. So, Yeah, for me on defense, we talked about a bunch, but I'll go Josiah Stewart. Really just want to see someone solidify as that kind of edge 3 spot. Not saying it's necessarily going to be him as a true rookie out of Michigan, but, excited to see what he can do. And on offense, I'll take the obvious one. Like, what's Steady B going to look like? What's Stetson Bennett going to look like out there? Anyone, I don't want to sound like a know-it-all, but I think anyone that knows anything knows that he is not the future of the Rams. The question now is, can he be the future backup of the Rams? Like, he is basically competing to stay with the Rams organization as the backup quarterback if the Rams, don't decide to re-sign Jimmy Garoppolo after this year. And so can he show enough? Can he show enough leadership, enough command in the huddle, enough of the accuracy, the arm talent to be a viable backup if anything were to happen, with the future of the room. So not looking for him to be the wow of like, oh, this guy's the future of the team, but this guy is the future of being on the team as a backup quarterback. So excited to see what he does. Hope he looks great.
Yeah, I'm always rooting for the guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an NFL quarterback at this point, but as always, I like to stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, I'll change my opinion for sure.
100%. So we shall see. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Any worries about this Rams kind of slew of injuries right now? No concern at all. Would love to hear from you guys. You can just comment below. If you're on the Rams LAFB YouTube page, you can hit us up on Twitter, LAFB Network. Go to our website, LAFBnetwork.com. Comment anywhere there. We also have a Rams message board up there that we're going to start pushing a lot more. It's a lot of interactive. During games, we'll actually it's a live chat feature. We will interact with everyone and just chat and hang out, which I know Skinny T is absolutely fired up about. But yeah, so we'll start promoting that a little bit more on the show as we get closer to the season. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us as always. Everyone enjoy the game. I mean, it's real football, regardless if it's preseason and backups. Real football is back, and the real football is literally exactly a month away, which is exciting.
Hot dang.
We made it a month away from regular season football. Well, that'll do it here for the Rams Skinny. Thank you as always for hanging out. Everyone be well, be safe. We'll be back soon with plenty more Rams talk.